Floyd Mayweather facing felony charges for passing a bad check, right? And it has something to do with a jeweler. He gave a jeweler a check. The check bounced. The jeweler was trying to contact him. He's ignoring the jeweler. So the jeweler went and pressed charges on him for giving him the bad check. He said he'd been reaching out to him, but Floyd hasn't been responding. And they're ignoring him totally. So he went straight criminal on him with it. You know, he could have went civil, but he went criminal. And I'm sure he's going to go civil as well, but he went criminal first. You know, if you owe that man, pay that man. Straight up. If you owe that man, pay that man. Let's see what it say right here. Boxer Floyd Mayweather is facing 2 felony charges alleging theft and intent to defraud by passing a bad check to purchase a $200,000 watch in Las Vegas, according to Nevada court records. Mayweather was not present for the Clark County Court hearing Monday and was instead represented by his counsel. Mayweather official charges are theft, value over $100,000 or greater, and draw or pass a check and intent to defraud, value of $1,200 or greater. Clark County prosecutors filed an initial criminal complaint on April 27th, according to court records obtained by ESPN, followed 3 days later by a court order that Mayweather appeared before a judge. Monday's appearance by his attorney apparently fulfilled that order. The complaint alleges Mayweather wrote a $200,000 check from Wells Fargo Bank account to Gold and Beyond, a high-end Las Vegas resale boutique, on December 31st, 2024. The complaint alleges Mayweather wrote the check when he had insufficient money, property, or credit in the account to pay in full. ESPN obtained a copy of the receipt for the Audemars Piguet watch that was purchased on December 25th, 2024. The theft charge claims Mayweather wrote the check in exchange for obtaining property or services while knowing that the check would not be paid when presented. The complaint alleges Mayweather did this knowingly, feloniously, and without lawful authority. If found guilty of the fraud charge, Mayweather could face 1 to 4 years in prison and up to a $5,000 fine plus restitution costs, according to Nevada state law. Felony theft carries a prison term of 1 to 20 years and up to $15,000 in fine. Mark Cook, an attorney for Cook and Kelsis, which represents Gold and Beyond, told ESPN on Tuesday that his client filed a complaint with the Clark County District Attorney's Office in February. The reason for the delay is that my guy trusted Mayweather and was trying to give him every opportunity to make good on that, Cook said. And it got to the point where he wasn't getting a response and wasn't getting money for the watch that Mayweather had for well over a year. Cook said his client didn't want to press charges against Mayweather in hopes of resolving the issue. Cook said his client attempted to go through every avenue possible but got ignored. Mayweather's attorney, Adrian Lobo, told ESPN in a statement Tuesday night that her client had absolutely no intent to defraud Gold and Beyond, that he had a long business relationship with the store owner before or after the alleged transaction, and that Gold and Beyond owner decided to take the claim to the Clark County District Attorney instead of filing a civil claim to resolve the dispute. This matter does not belong in a criminal court, Lobo wrote in a statement, and Mr. Mayweather look forward to being vindicated through the court proceedings. Lobo said in an email that Mayweather has no travel stipulations as part of the case and that his next court date is September 17th. It is the latest in a litany of legal wars for Mayweather. Plaintiff in a separate civil case and at least 4 states allege Mayweather owes them money. The Internal Revenue Service has a tax lien more than $7.2 million levied against Mayweather for unpaid taxes in 2018 and 2023. A Las Vegas area gated community filed a separate lien of over $22.5. The IRS declined comment about Mayweather's lien, saying the agency cannot discuss or release tax information. Mayweather is also the plaintiff in a separate suit he brought earlier this year against Showtime for $340 million and his former business associate for $175 million. He alleged fraud and aiding and abetting, breach of fiduciary duty in both civil cases. Mayweather is scheduled to fight kickboxer Mike Zambidis in an expedition on June 27th in Greece. A source close to Mayweather told ESPN on Tuesday that Mayweather still has his passport and is expected to leave for Greece later this week. There was a threat of Mayweather's passport being revoked at one point because of the IRS lien. The source said, but Mayweather's tax attorney had been working with the federal agency and he will be able to go to Greece for the fight and then return. Hey, yo. Mayweather. Money Mayweather got major financial issues. Now, he was so busy flexing. Yeah, he was so busy flexing, showing everybody he got this, he got that. He's doing this, he's doing that. And when you do that, the truth come out. Now the truth is out. Mayweather ain't as paid as he's portrayed to be for all these years. Straight up. You know, he been running around for years flexing like his money was on another level. Them dudes, they be having gambling habits. They got bad habits all the way around the board, you know. And this is how they mess up the money. They in the casino betting big money, millions. They get to losing the money, you know, because the casinos never lose. It's designed for them to win, you know. And he ran off on a watch, people, the jeweler, $200,000 watch, and it's been almost 2 years. You ain't pay that man, you ain't got it. You would have paid him. You know, if he had the $200,000, you would have paid him. But you know, Floyd Mayweather got 10 girlfriends running around. You know, Ray J's girl, she was one of them at one time. Yeah, he got all these women, these responsibilities, and then the people around him is stealing from him. Now he got to go and continue to fight. You know, you retired to keep fighting. You were supposed to be done with fighting. But he retired to continue to fight and got financial issues. You know, it's like when you got something going on, you got to watch everything you got around you. And we know he can't read, or maybe he can read a little bit, but he ain't smart. He just had some money. He was cocky, but he ain't smart at all. And now it's all showing. You know, he got to fight for whoever was dibbling and dabbling in his paper that he put in position to have control of his money. Man, it's always important for you to know everything about your money. Yeah, I don't care how much money you get. Because if you put somebody else in charge of your money, they're going to take some of your money. This is a fact. Especially if you got a whole bunch. You can't give nobody access and think they're going to be trustworthy. People start coming up with bright ideas. Straight up. People start coming up with bright ideas with your money. They taking losses. They doing different things. And then turn around. When you wake up, the money ain't there. I guarantee you that's what happened to Floyd. Went to do something and the money wasn't there. They sold the man's jet and everything. Yeah. But he was so busy flexing on people that don't got nothing. Come on, man. You flexing on people that don't got nothing. And I really think when it comes to black people, that's where they go wrong at. You trying to flex on other black people that don't got nothing. Then you got people over here robbing you. Because you so focused on flexing on your people to let everybody know, I'm the man. I got this, I got that. Now, the people that you should be paying attention to, they the ones taking your money. So, who's the fool? Yeah, who's the fool? If the people that you supposed to be paying attention to, you not paying attention to, you try to flex, and they taking your money, who the fool? 50 Cent straight laughing at it. Facts. Straight laughing at it. You know, and this is why, right? When you a hustler and you get into it with somebody that feel like they doing better than you, all you gotta do is sit back. Because if they don't got the same type of hustle you got, it's going to show. You hear me? And I really feel like Floyd is a good boxer, but I don't feel like he a good businessman, because you shouldn't be experiencing this, especially all them fights you had, all the money you was making. You shouldn't be experiencing no financial issues. But it's the distraction. And the crazy thing is, Floyd don't do any drugs. So it's like you got other addictions. Your addictions, gambling and females. That shit there might be worse than doing drugs. Gambling and females, because everything's going out. You hear me? Everything's going out. Ain't nothing coming in. You know? And all I can do is say, you a fool. Yeah, you had position. But all you did was flex on everybody and talk down on everybody and say how much money you got, instead of making sure by any means necessary you held your position. Yeah. That's something that people really got to understand. Once you get in a position, it's your duty to maintain the position and stay in position. You know, because, you know, life is going to have ups and downs. And it's a lot of distractions. You know, the people that you think that rock with you really be a distraction. You know what I mean? It's okay to stay focused. Some people might not like it. You ain't got no time for me. And hey, how you think I got here? I didn't get here by doing that. I got here by doing this. You know, and I think people that get in position, sometimes they forget. You got to do what you did to get there. You got to stay in position. You know, the structure. It's a certain type of structure that, you know, you got to have in place when you trying to build. You got to keep that same structure, even if you're doing something different. It's the structure that keep you locked in. You know what I'm saying? the structure. Some people get outside of that structure and they start doing certain things. You know, it's like, do you got your own discipline or do you need somebody else to discipline you? Because if you can't discipline yourself and make sure you stay in line, and you need other people to hold your hand and pump you up, oh yeah, you're going to definitely fumble.